Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss the maturity number 5 according to Pythagorean numerology. So the maturity number 5, guys, has to do with Mercury. It's representative as the fastest moving planet. When we discuss it in the maturity number position, what we have here is somebody who, when they hit their 30s and 40s, are going to try to achieve some sort of freedom, whether that be financial freedom. Sometimes that could be freedom from an abusive partner. It could be just from an overburdening family, or it could be something as simple as just being more sociable and getting out of their own prison that they've conformed within themselves. So it really comes down to what your personal situation is, and then that's going to decide how it's going to need to be dealt with. The five's main topics are freedom, exploration, challenging your fears, adventure. So it's a fun maturity number to have. It's one of those maturity numbers where if you did well in life, you might buy a Lambo at 40. Like, it's really, really a good luck number. It's something that can definitely be appreciated and something that you can definitely exalt within if you actually know how to utilize it properly. The main thing I'd focus on if I did have this maturity number is, where do I lack freedom? Meaning, like, where are you currently saying I can have improvement here? And then decide how you're going to do it. It's similar to my 4 video. You need to see what your situation is and then see the alternative. And this is pretty much universal for anybody. But with the 5s in particular, what we have is somebody who has a sort of a challenge with this certain aspect of freedom. You're going to have it in the form of a really big challenge. Another thing, it can be freedom from addiction, cigarettes, alcohol, maybe even just things like complaining. It's going to be a habit of some sort that you're going to have to change. And just like with withdrawal from drugs, when you withdraw from certain bad habits, at first there's a lot of negative side effects with that, and you need to understand that this is the challenge from this number. It wants your brain to move fast. It just wants quick results, and that's not the way that our realm works. We're in a realm that's governed by time. Time is something that's defined by the intensity of your thoughts and how determined you are to do something, which confers back to intensity. So you need to be intensely aware of what you have as a bad habit, and then also how to make sure you're not doing it in excess. So at first it might be just mitigating things like smoking or drinking, and then it may be to go cold turkey on it. But it's more of a journey rather than just looking for that destination. You need to trust the process, and you need to trust yourself, and that's the most important things here. If you're able to understand that concept, the number 5 will be a cakewalk for you. It'll be a walk over roses. It's going to be not very hard for you whatsoever, but you need to understand on what you're dealing with in order to actually make things happen. Without the ability to comprehend what's actually going on in your life, you're not going to get anywhere. So the first thing is interpretation, then understanding what the better alternative is, and then constructing a plan, and finally being disciplined enough to do so, which is the biggest challenge of the 5. The 5 is a very scattered, fast-moving planet, right? It goes around the sun how many times? A lot of times. But more so than any other planet. And the thing with that is, it's going to make you want to just reach that destination very quickly, but it's also going to make you want to change what your goal is. So you might feel like, okay, I've stopped smoking for a week. Okay, maybe I should try something else. And you add on, let me stop drinking as well. That's a very big mistake. What you need to do is just focus something like 90 days, see what your psychological profile is like, whether it's going to take 21 days, 60 days, some people 90 days, some people a whole year. But you need to decide on what your psychological profile is like, how you were brought up, and then make a correct and competent plan to then overcome your said addiction or just behavior that you want to change. So that would be it for the number 5 in essence. We're going to move on next to the karmic debt number 14. The karmic debt number 14 in any given situation when it comes is a very rough number to have. It's not the worst karmic debt, but it definitely is up there. The 1 is, of course, about being selfish. The 4 has to do with pragmatism, which is the influence of Rahu or Uranus. And, of course, 1 is influenced by the sun. Then you get 5, which is Mercury. So this is going to force you to be very methodical and very much very self-critical. You're going to have to judge situations with accuracy. You can't just go through life just chasing situations and hoping that they're going to go your way. What's going to happen if you have a karmic debt number of 14 is, with the 5, I was able to say just construct a plan, stick with it. With 14, it demands a lot more fluidity, meaning you have to be like the water. You're going to have to adapt to ever-changing circumstances that's going to affect your given goal. So as soon as you focus on something, the universe is actually going to twist things around. So even though you're on the right path, it's like having a bunch of potholes on a road, but that's the only road to get to your destination. meaning you want to stop drinking or you want to stop smoking or you want to have more freedom by upping your financial stability. But in the process of doing that, a whole bunch of things go wrong. Your car breaks down. Maybe relatives need more money. All of a sudden, your family's on you about money. With smoking, all of a sudden, people around you are just excessively smoking. You might find it even harder to get away from that habit just because of other stressful things that inhibit that habit in the first place come about. And that's the whole thing, is that is the number 4 providing that challenge for you, because that's Rahu, which is an agent of chaos. It's very random. And then you have the sun, which is forcing you not to be selfish. So you need to diminish your ego. Instead of saying, I am doing this, just be like, it is being done. In that interpretation, if you're able to understand that, you'll be able to master the 14. The 14 is all about losing your subjective lens, losing that subjective perspective of saying, oh, well, this is happening to me as I'm trying to do this, so maybe I should just go back to my bad habits and life was smoother. Instead, you need to say, yeah, life is a certain way, but objectively, this is what I need to do to get through it. And then each challenge, you need to actually step up and overcome them. When you do this, you'll notice that in the process, you'll actually improve in all other facets of life in a very random way. According to you, it will be random, but to the universe, it is not. Because when you quit something, your mind has something called neuroplasticity, meaning that you're actually changing the wiring of your brain to be more resistant, stronger, more resilient in the face of challenge. So of course, as soon as you say, for instance, I'm going to quit smoking, you're probably then going to be able to naturally start working out, to naturally make more money, because your expectations for things being easy gets diminished. And you're used to hard things. You're used to having that bench press on you that's always just forcing its way down your chest. And you're able to then come out in a more transformative way. That's going to change every facet of your life. It's going to open new doors for you. People often say karmic debts are very hard to have, and I do definitely agree with that. What I do not agree with is the fact that they cannot be used to your advantage. Everything can be leveraged, good and bad things, but you need to know how to leverage them and utilize them as a tool, and not just put your personification on them and then put yourself in a victim role. As soon as you're able to actually say, this is my karmic debt as a maturity number, okay, accept it. Accept that it simplifies to 5 and that you can manipulate the situation and achieve great freedom. So understand there is a positive end to it. The 1 and the 4 are the challenges, they're the stepping stones. Diminish your selfishness, diminish the ego, use pragmatic methods to get what you want, be methodical, be objective, lose your subjective lens, and then you're going to get the freedom that the 5 has to offer. It's going to come in even more intense way than if you just had a maturity number of 5. Believe it or not, it definitely will. When you overcome these challenges, it's going to be even that much more fulfilling. I don't mean to say that in a life coach sort of way, but the truth is you will have more power as a result of overcoming these said challenges. All right, so if you guys do have any questions regarding the 5 or the 14, just please let me know in the comments. That should conclude it. If you guys have any other questions whatsoever regarding any of the numbers or anything you guys want me to go over in the future, just let me know in my comments, or you can go to Shemsuniverse 8 on Instagram. Give me some tips there. I definitely appreciate you guys' feedback. But aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe, holla at me. That's it for today, guys. Peace.